What is cryptocurrency? If you've been living under a rock, cryptocurrency is gaining popularity. And it's no wonder. Cryptocurrency can be used to buy things, invest in things, and make money on its own. But what exactly is cryptocurrency? How does it work? And why are people so excited about it? Hello and welcome to Alpha Finance. This is the channel to watch if you want to learn more about personal finance, investing in cryptocurrency. However, before I get into the topic, do me a favor, subscribe and hit that like button because it really helps with the YouTube algorithm. Thank you, and now let's get into it. During the time of the cavemen, people relied on a system called barter, which involved the exchange of goods and services between two or more people. For example, someone could swap 7 apples for 7 oranges. The barter system lost favor because its inherent weaknesses made it difficult to facilitate mutually beneficial exchanges, namely, that both parties' needs and wants have to be addressed in order for a trade to take place. There is no universal standard for determining the value of an item. Rather, you must determine how many of your goods you are willing to exchange for other items. And not all items may be split up into separate parts. A live animal, for example, cannot be divided into smaller units. The items are not easily transportable, in contrast to our contemporary currency, which may be carried in a wallet or kept on a mobile phone. After it was discovered that the barter system was ineffective, the money underwent several iterations. In the year 110 BC, an official currency was created. In the year 1250 AD, gold-plated florins were introduced and used across Europe. Finally, between the year 1600 and 1900, paper currency gained broad appeal and eventually ended up being used all over the world. This is the origin of contemporary currency as we know it. Modern currency consists of paper currency, coins, credit cards, and digital wallets, such as Apple Pay, Amazon Pay, Paytm, and PayPal. All of it is under the supervision of banks and governments, which means that there is a centralized regulatory authority that places restrictions on the functioning of paper currency and credit cards. Consider the following scenario. You wish to thank a friend who bought you lunch by sending money to his or her account online. There are various possibilities for things to go wrong, including the financial institution could be experiencing a technical problem, such as its systems being down or the machines not working properly. Yours or a friend's account could have been hacked, resulting in a denial of service attack or identity theft. Your or your friend's account may have reached its daily transfer limit. There is a key vulnerability here, and that is the bank. Because of this, the future of currency is going to be in the form of cryptocurrencies. Now, picture a similar transaction taking place between two users of the cryptocurrency app. A notice arrives informing the user that he or she is ready to send Bitcoin. If yes, processing begins. The system verifies the user's identification, determines whether the user has sufficient funds to complete the transaction, and so on. After that, the payment is transmitted and the funds are deposited into the receiver's account. This all happens in a matter of minutes. Thus, cryptocurrency eliminates all of the problems associated with modern banking. There are no restrictions to the amount of money you may transfer. Your accounts cannot be hacked, and there is no single point of failure. Cryptocurrency is a digital currency that uses encryption techniques to control the creation of new coins and secure transactions. It's a currency that exists entirely online. It's not tied to any government or a physical object. Cryptocurrency runs on a public ledger called blockchain. It records the digital history of every cryptocurrency transaction, making it virtually impossible to forge. It's decentralized, meaning it isn't controlled by anyone. No one country or organization can decide what happens to the currency, and no one person can increase or decrease its value. That means that nobody can hold your money hostage if you don't pay up, and it also means that nobody can manipulate the value of your coins by inflating them artificially. Same like traditional currencies do when central banks print more cash than they need in order to keep interest rates low. Cryptocurrency uses consensus to verify transactions. This means that every node that participates in its network must agree to the transaction before it can be posted on the network's blockchain. To understand how this works, let's look at an example. Say you want to send some cryptocurrency to someone else. This is called a transaction because it involves sending a unit of value from one person to another. For example, if you have one Bitcoin and you want to send it from your wallet address to another person's wallet address, then this would be considered a transaction. You would go through your wallet application and enter the recipient's wallet address into the send field and then enter how much Bitcoin you'd like to send them. Once you've entered all of your information correctly, click Submit. That may sound easy enough, but what happens next? Your wallet application will send out this transaction request across its network of nodes. Now every node that participates in its network must agree to the transaction before it can be posted on its blockchain. In order to accomplish this, each node stores its own copy of the blockchain and sends updates to other nodes when it receives new blocks from other nodes. The nodes then vote on whether or not a new block should be added to their chain. If a majority of nodes agree, then the block is added and everyone moves forward. If not, then no one does anything with that block and you have to try again later. This system provides two benefits. Firstly, it ensures that all transactions are valid, as they've been verified by multiple parties. Secondly, if one party attempts to cheat or game the system by posting fraudulent transactions, there will be many other participants who won't approve those changes, which means they will never go through. This consensus process makes sure that everyone agrees with what happened during a transaction, so there's no chance for fraud or manipulation. Consensus algorithms are also responsible for ensuring no one person can control more than half of the network. This public ledger allows everyone to see every transaction made with Bitcoin or another type of cryptocurrency, which provides an added level of security. This property is called decentralization because there is no central authority or government that controls it. The decentralized nature of cryptocurrencies is one of the main reasons why they're so appealing from a user perspective. You might be wondering where this idea came from. After all, aren't all currencies controlled by governments? The first decentralized cryptocurrency was created by an anonymous programmer named Satoshi Nakamoto in 2009 with Bitcoin abbreviated as BTC. Since then, other cryptocurrencies have been developed using similar concepts. Blockchain allows people to make transactions without needing to trust each other or an intermediary like a bank. Instead, they can rely on the network itself to verify their transactions and keep track of them using complex algorithms. Why does this matter? Because it means that cryptocurrencies have the potential to change how we store and exchange value around the world. Cryptocurrencies are still in their early stages, but they're already changing how we think about money. Now the question arises: are cryptocurrencies legal? Fiat currencies derive their authority from the government or monetary authorities. For example, each dollar bill is backstopped by the Federal Reserve. But cryptocurrencies are not backed by any public or private entities. Therefore, it has been difficult to make a case for their legal status in different financial jurisdictions throughout the world. It doesn't help matters that cryptocurrencies have largely functioned outside most existing financial infrastructure. The legal status of cryptocurrencies has implications for their use in daily transactions and trading. In June 2019, the Financial Action Task Force recommended that wire transfers of cryptocurrencies should be subject to the requirements of its travel rule, which requires AML compliance. As of December 2021, El Salvador was the only country in the world to allow Bitcoin as legal tender for monetary transactions. In the rest of the world, cryptocurrency regulation varies by jurisdiction. Well, that's it from this video. In our next video, we'll look at Bitcoin, the most widespread cryptocurrency in existence today. We'll also talk about how you can use Bitcoin for everyday purchases and investments. And we'll also discuss the future of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. Thanks so much for watching. We really appreciate it. And if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions for future videos, leave them in the comments below. We'll see you next time.